how to build up a startup? Ja, diese Frage, die stellt sich jeder irgendwann am Anfang. Und diese Frage ist auch wichtig. Wie muss man das überhaupt machen? Und ich würde sagen, wir hören doch gerade mal rein. Wie bildet man denn genau so ein Startup auf?
Y'all ready for this?
Hi everyone, first of all, this is English, but this is for all of you. We are talking about crazy stuff that you can build. The world is changing, and everyone that is not technical can build a startup until next week. And we're going to start with a small video, and then we are diving into the 5 steps to build your startup.
All right, so who here is actually a CTO? Oh, wow. Only one. Who here knows how to code or develop anything? Okay, a bit more. But here we are today talking about how to build your idea within 1 week. Some months ago, it was impossible, but now we are in the AI age, and this is the new era for founders.
I'm Tammo. I'm host of my startup camp. You saw me on stage already. I was studying entrepreneurship and AI, especially in Stanford, and I hand over to Tim.
And I'm Tim, had the honor to study abroad as well and do some stuff, and now I have TAISC, the AI software company.
So raise your hand if you use AI on a daily basis or in school. So that's a lot of people already. And now raise your hand if you have used Lovable or any similar tool before.
Ooh.
Actually, less people, but a lot of people know Lovable already. That's great for the speech now already, but those who don't know Lovable, it's a very easy tool and we can explain it pretty quickly. There's a lack of 99 people, that 99% of people that actually don't know how to code. It's 1% of the people that are software engineers. And Lovable is basically closing this gap, so basically those 99% can achieve at least in a bit what those 1% can achieve. And Lovable is building the last piece of software development, so you don't have to be technical anymore. You can just start building, like in ChatGPT, just say what you want, and we're going to dive into that in a bit. And then afterwards, you will get your product, you will get your app, and then basically a lot is done already. Lovable is the fastest growing startup in the world. They grew from 1 million to 100 million the fastest. There's Cursor, OpenAI, and so on, so Lovable is even faster. It's from Sweden, it's a European solution, so we actually can build nice startups here in Europe as well. And I would like to hand over to Tim for our 5 steps, because now you actually see how you can build your startup until next Friday.
Yes, we're going to a bit of practical theory now. Who here knows design thinking? Oh, yeah, okay, I see that. But yeah, so I think the thing is with design thinking, it was very static, and it was for the old school software building, startup building, with the 5 steps. But with AI, you can actually enhance it and actually do it better and way quicker. So we have 5 steps and leaned it onto the design thinking part. So how to build? Let's start with step 1. Step 1 is empathize. Empathize, of course, is, as always, talk to people. Because you might have an idea in your head, you might have an idea or a challenge or problem, you might think you know, but actually most of the times, sorry to say, you don't know. We all don't know. But the best way to actually start is actually talk to people, maybe choose an industry, pharma, automotive, or finance, or whatsoever. Go to the people, talk to them, and learn how to ask the right questions. Meaning, if you go and say, do you have a problem with SAP like John over there? Then you're basically implying a problem. You're basically implying something which might deflect the question. So rather ask, okay, what's your day-to-day problem? They will tell you maybe it's the UI of SAP. Then you ask, okay, what exactly about the UI of SAP don't you like? And then you'll go on and on and on. The other thing is, do not talk with family or friends, because they love you and they will say yes, or yes to everything you say, basically. But so have a no people bias, and then once you're talking to them, interviewing them, transcribe it, because that you can then later on give to AI, because you don't have to retranscribe everything yourself anymore. You need to understand, yes, but you can use AI as your second brain to find the shared pain points of this interview you find. And then find out how the ideal product would look like with AI. So if you start a chat, you put the transcription in, get a key points of the shared pain points they have, and then ask AI, what would the possible or more possible, gather lots of different ideas, and see for yourself. Here you have to use your brain as well, which ones do fit, because you know humans a bit better. You have used your intuition in here to find out which of these key points or new ideas actually would work, how you can combine them maybe, and then iterate from there. That's why it's called vibe ideation. We do everything by vibe now,
And
right?
there's a lot of tools you can do. You can use ChatGPT, you just upload your transcript that you collected, like 15, 20 transcripts. You upload them to ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, whatever you want to use, and then ask for the ideal product and the shared pain points of these interviews that they all share together. And then based on that,
You can actually, you can use Lovable, as we just showed you, but you can use, I don't know, there's Cursor, there is Base 44, there's so many different programs nowadays, but Lovable, to be honest, it's the easiest go-to.
Start with
Yeah, you can just prompt, and you'll find a solution. The UI and even the backend is prompted already. So it's a great go-to to iterate very quick, because speed is everything. Going on to the next one, which is then step 3, and it's the vibe prototype. As we just mentioned, you copy your prompt, which you've developed with AI, and then you'll get your first version. The first version, most of the times, it's a bit wacky. Maybe you need to ideate there a bit and iterate a bit, and maybe the colors, maybe the fonts or whatsoever, but focus on the functionality. Don't lose your focus, because it's very important that it fits to the problem you want to solve. Go through the customer journey of the software and see if everything is working and everything is working as intended. Does it solve the problem? That's the number one question you need to ask yourself all the time. And then make sure the key features work for the demo. Because the demo, here you need to validate your MVP. Basically, the people you interviewed, you go back to them and show it to them and see what is their reaction, what is their comments, and what are they saying. Schedule calls and test it, test. Validate the demand, and if they want to buy, if they're ready to buy. Is it really a problem, or is it just a fun problem? And then go back again and iterate your MVP until it fits. Coming to the fifth one, here, this is the go or no-go decision, the reality check.
yes, and that's basically the final one already. So you already have those interviews, you talk to people, you gave all of these transcripts to AI, ChatGPT, and so on, and then you vibe code it or vibe prototype. We actually don't say coding anymore because you're basically not coding anymore. And then from there, bring this product out to the exact people that you've talked to already. So they have the problem, you've built that solution for them already, and in the same week tell them, we have that product now, we have an MVP, do you want to test it? And then go with the solution and actually build it next week and find people to build it with if they sign an LOI or contract. If not, go with the vibe if they are really interested and tell you a lot of times, but you have to go with your intuition a little bit, iterate and adapt it and make it a little bit better, and then do the same interview again. If not, that's a no-go, and stop it and do the next thing next week, the next idea, next startup. No-go if no LOI is signed and no contract is signed. This step is really important because a lot of founders love their idea and they want to have a product and they want people to love it, but it's usually not the case. So stop here when you do not have a contract signed. Try to make at least 15 to 20 interviews, then you have 15 to 20 people already that would sign. If one of them signs, then you can scale that up already, that probably on the next 100, 1,000, 10,000 people, some of them would sign as well. And that's basically a new way of design thinking, like Tim already introduced in the beginning. So we kind of reimagined the gap, actually yesterday or like today at 3 a.m., but this is our new design thinking way. So we start with emphasize, like we said, step 1. Step 2 is the vibe ideation or vibe prototyping, not vibe coding anymore. Step 3, I messed it up, but that's step 3 now, the vibe prototyping. And then validate the idea, talk to people again, and then it's the reality check. That's the yes, go with the idea, or don't go with the idea, drop out of the circle, find a new idea, and then do the same for 2, 3, 4 weeks, and you will have something that people will pay for. I actually did that myself, and Tim as well. During Christmas, I did not have a lot of time because we had a lot of stuff to organize for my startup camp, but I set myself the challenge that I want to develop 7 apps in 7 days. So it's 1 day of developing a product with Lovable, and that's it. I will not touch it anymore. I put a hard paid gap, connected Stripe. I told Lovable to connect Stripe basically because I had no idea how to do it. And then there was a hard pay gap. People signed in, they had to pay. They did not use the product yet, and now 2 out of those 7 actually have paying users. Not a lot, but they have paying users, which is a sign that you can continue. And that's basically how you can start a startup in 5 days only or a week, and all of you can do it, and I would encourage all of you to do it next week, and until next Friday you will have something.
And the other thing to add as well is what we just talked about, it's not just used by startups. It's used by Microsoft as well. It's being used by bigger companies, actually. Now, of course, they have proper software developers to later develop and set up the architecture. But nowadays, to check your ideas is the most important thing. And it's easier and faster than ever, and they're doing it as well. So, yeah.
We have some room, I think 3 minutes-ish, for some questions. So if you have questions, raise your hand. Yeah? No? There's a question.
How long do you think until AI will be able to completely replace coding? Because at the moment, as you said, Lovable does work, but at some point, coding, in my opinion, is necessary just because it's, well, can be more complex. But how long until AI is going to be able to completely replace?
Very interesting question. We can both answer, I guess. Yeah. In my opinion, there will be always a way that people that have technical understanding will get better results. And they will always use AI to get better results. It's not that Claude creates 10 billion startups tomorrow on its own and just thinks that, hey, yo, I'm going to destroy the world and build some crazy shit here. There will always be people that innovate something. So right now, you always need someone with some technical knowledge, but this is about the first week, getting an MVP, and afterwards you can look for a CTO as well and build the product in much bigger scale as well. But this is about the first week, everyone can do it. You don't need any technical knowledge anymore. You can just write down what you want, and you get the results. How long that will take, that software engineers get less and less important, is hard to say. But in Silicon Valley, for example, a lot of software engineers got fired, basically. A lot of them are looking for jobs, but a lot of them vibe code or build a lot of stuff on their own now. So it's actually not replacing them, but they are much faster and much better because they already have that technical understanding and maybe also can use other AI tools that are further down the line already.
Yeah, I would just slightly add one sentence to this. I don't think anyone is going to be truly replaced. I think people will adopt rather, but expertise is still needed, of course. When Photoshop came out, all the painters and creators back then revolted against it, but now it's still a great software, and as creators are still around, and painters are still around. So I think people will adopt rather.
So great software engineers are still great software engineers, and they're going to build all of that stuff much faster and better probably with AI, and they have much more power at the moment, but everyone can just start and get to a good result and validate the MVP already.
Yeah.
One more question?
Sweet. All right. Thanks.
Right.
For
Thank
listening.
you so much. Enjoy. We have some super cool stuff going on. Pitch.
Yeah.
Stay here. And we see
Well
each
done.
other.
Nice. Yeah.
Hey, cool gewesen. Merci vielmals.